Hey there, everybody. We're back here again doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles. And today we are on lesson 194. I place the future in the hands of God. So here we go. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation, and a giant stride it is indeed. So great the distance is that it encompasses, it sets you down just short of heaven, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace, where you await with certainty the final step of God. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? Accept today's idea, and you have passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin, and devastation brought on by guilt. Accept today's idea, and you have released from the world all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that lock the door to freedom on it. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world, because you have received. In no one instant is depression felt, or pain experienced, or loss perceived. In no one instant sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshipped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness and pain and even death itself. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more, and future dread will now be meaningless. I think that paragraph is like the key to this lesson. We need to I love the idea of like, we don't understand how time actually works. It's all really happening simultaneously. And if we trust and have faith, then our future isn't something we have to worry about. I know it's hard to do. I mean, especially like I'm getting ready to be basically living on the road, and to not plan ahead, to not make reservations would be a mistake. You know, you can't, I don't know. I don't feel like you can completely place everything about the future in God's hands. There's some kind of a balance with this like 3D reality we live in. However, letting go of the past and not dreading the future and staying present is key. But yeah, I don't know. I think this one is difficult for just if you're trying to, like, lots of people right now are interested in buying land and collaborating with other humans and trying to make plans for the future. So I think that there's like a literal translation of this that just is going to come into conflict with some of the ongoing plans that we're all making to like form intentional communities right now, basically. But I think the gesture in it, and this idea of I place the future in the hands of God, we're still asking for guidance every day, and we're not just using our ego to determine everything. Maybe helps kind of iron out some of the triggering that happens when you read this lesson. Like, you know, there's things that you want to plan, but maybe don't be so married to your ideas, and be open to the opportunities that God places, that we place in our lives, that we create and co-create with other beings. It's like living in the now all the time, but knowing that you still have things coming up that you've put some work into and planned with your fellow beings. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more and future dread will now be meaningless. So I went ahead and read that paragraph twice, not necessarily intentionally, but there you go. Release the future, for the past is gone, and what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss, become the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then is each instant which was slave to time transformed into a holy instant, when the light that has kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. Now is he free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him, to share his holiness. If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. As it becomes a thought that rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. I guess that's just another way of saying, as we change our minds, the supposed outside world around us will also change, because that image that we're projecting out, we see something different. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? What can he fear? And what can he regard except with love? For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. He is freed to choose again when he has been deceived, to change his mind when he has made mistakes. Place then your future in the hands of God, for thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his, and offers peace to both. Now are we saved indeed, for in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only good can come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will be soon replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend. Oh, that's a really powerful statement at the end there too. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend. Yeah, this is an interesting one. A lot of people are going through a lot of transition, and it's good to talk about placing your future in the hands of God, but not to not be involved in the co-creation of what's coming ahead. So wherever you can find that balance, I think it's pretty tricky, or maybe not. Maybe that's just my ego trying to throw a monkey wrench in my little belief that this is possible plan. Okay, let's see what A Year of Forgiveness has to say about 194. I place the future in the hands of God. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. Does this not sound like a great relief to you to place your future in the hands of God? The ego tells you this is not safe, that you should place your future in its hands. It has great plans to control the world, judge people, and keep everything in order. Just take a minute to think about that. Which feeling gives you a sense of security? Which option makes you feel safer? Allowing the ego to do what it does, or giving your future to the hands of God? After all, God is that benevolent force that has created you. Why would God allow anything untoward happen to you? Your sicknesses are of the ego's manufacture. They do not come from God. They come from your fears, resistance, and control issues. They come from you trying to do what you do in a separated, isolated, and demented mind. Your sicknesses do not come from God, and that is why it is so important for you to realize the power of this decision. Health, life, and love are in God's image, not death, sickness, pain, and suffering. You must observe the fruits of the thought system that you follow. You must understand that God is love and death is not of God. Sickness is not of God. Health, living, creativity, and loving are of God. You are made in God's image. Make this decision throughout your day today. Do not worry about the future. Do not think about what might happen if you do this and you do that. Trust that in this moment, that if you do your best in whatever situation you are in, you forgive and you bring love to whatever you do, then you do in fact trust in a divine purpose. Thus, you are giving your future over to the hands of God. In that surrender of your destiny, you relax and you do the very best you can in this moment. Instead of being contaminated by fear, worry, and resentment, you stay present. You are, in this holy instant, loving. That will guarantee you a beautiful life, a beautiful future. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. So I really like what he says here about do not think about what might happen if you do this or that. Trust that in this moment, if you do your best in whatever situation you're in, you forgive and you bring love to whatever you do, then you do in fact trust in a divine purpose. So really, I think what it's telling us is to do our best and to add love to every situation we're in. And I feel like when I'm in that sort of pattern, that I do receive inspirational ideas. They just drop right in. And that is the trust, that you continue with that consistent behavior of adding more love, being kind, noticing when you start to feel fear, anxiety, depression, worry, and just look what is beneath the form of that. Ask for, forgive yourself and ask for some guidance. And then, I think things start to sort of disappear. It doesn't seem as heavy. It doesn't seem as bad when you can get out from underneath some of these beliefs and thoughts and recurring patterns out there. So anyway, I place the future in the hands of God. Let's agree on that. Let's try to do that. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.